Yep.
Harvey Spencer Stevens.
He's the very first one.
Right. English actor who portrayed the role of young Damien Thorne in The Omen. Okay, does it get basically to what happened to him later on?
Nothing really. This was his major role. He did have a small part in a TV film in 1980. And then he had a small cameo in the 2006 version of The Omen.
Right, and that's pretty much it.
That's kind of it. He's married. It doesn't say anything about children. He was interviewed.
Of course not. He sacrificed his children.
He was interviewed for a documentary. Yeah, thank
Big
you.
word. Sorry about that.
Documentary. Blah. I need a nap. For The Curse of the Omen, and he's been on the Howard Stern Show and Sirius Radio in 2008. That's really
So we probably could get him on the Haunted Cabaret as a guest.
Well, Damien, if you're listening, we have a gig for you right here on Rhode Island Free Radio.
I mean, it says that he's appeared for autograph signings and horror conventions with, in quotes, my tricycle.
Uh-huh. Well, my question would be, if this is still the same person, I mean, how do we know? Now, kids grow up. They don't look like they did when they were 6. Yeah. How do we know that this Harvey person is actually the Damien that we saw in The Omen?
Yeah, we can't get DNA evidence.
Well, and I've often asked that question at conventions, especially some of the more obscure people. I mean, any one of us could set up a table, put up a picture, and say, I am such and such, and start collecting money.
I mean, there's 5 Damiens. So.
Right. Well, but Tony Jones has a point here.
I mean,
that could happen a lot.
There's not even a picture
of
this guy, Harvey.
The Chewbacca that I saw at Comic-Con that year, he had hardly any hair at all. On that note, let's go back to the music. Let's listen to a little Motorhead. How about Ace of Spades here on the Haunted Cabaret on Rhode Island Free Radio. All right, that was Motorhead, Ace of Spades here on the Haunted Cabaret. We are discussing all things evil children, and obviously the standard bearer of evil children, Damien from The Omen. And like what I noticed here on Nurse Misery's tablet is that the original Damien, who I am halfway convinced is the real thing, was only in that one movie.
Pretty much.
We never saw him after that.
Yeah, just
I mean,
bits and pieces of him.
Yeah, why couldn't that
throughout.
have been his introduction to the world? I firmly suspect that he's either captured by the Catholic Church and being held in some deep, dark catacomb of the Vatican, or that he's gone about his father's business.
Hey,
You know, marshaling the Illuminati, marshaling the reptilians, the Satanic Temple. I mean, he was probably behind that statue of Baphomet, the goat, that's perched on the steps along with the Ten Commandments.
well, he was born in 1970, so he's still out there and about and young enough
Of course
to
he's
cause
out
some
there and about.
problems.
He's
So-
well, cause problems. You just wait and see the problems he causes. But now, like I said, you know,
Yeah, he's causing a lot of problems. First, he burnt the fries. Then he then he messed up the coffee.
Did he forget to salt the meat?
which is a great segue to another subject. By the way, just because I wrote notes on a page doesn't mean I'm following them in any kind of chronological order. Tony Jones just gave me a great segue over to the remake of Village of the Damned, which, if anyone remembers, the original Village of the Damned was one of those British 1960s black and white movies about all the women in a small town who become pregnant on the same day.
That's freaky.
Very freaky. Through no known partners.
Well then,
There you go. Nurse Misery, watch out. And then, naturally, when the children are born 9 months later, they all have blonde hair, glowing eyes, and they have psychic powers that cause them to do things like put their mother's hands in boiling water when the formula is too warm, and set
I don't
people
wanna
on
have
fire.
one of those.
No, you don't, and neither did the
No?
people in that town.
I remember that movie fondly and wanting to kick those kids in the head every time they did what they were doing. Especially in school, where if the teacher wasn't doing something their way, the kid would be freaking pretty much hypnotizing them into doing something horrible to himself. You just wanted to boot those little bastards.
Yeah, with the self-satisfied smiles they had in their faces at
Yeah.
all times.
I don't even remember this movie.
Oh, this is
I remember
basically
it sounds similar like Children of the Corn.
Children
little
of the Corn
evil
ripped that
children, but
Yeah, these kids are way more evil than those Children of the Corn bastards.
yeah, when I googled it, I guess there was a remake in '95.
Yeah, and the remake is what came to mind first. Not because it's a better movie. It's nowhere near a better movie. But it does contain the actors Mark Hamill, Kirstie Alley,
Good.
and
movie.
Christopher Reeve.
Oh my!
Basically, the remake of Village of the Damned contains every single actor who was typecast out of a productive career in Hollywood, all in the same movie. So I don't know. And it's a John Carpenter film. He must have done this deliberately. He really must have.
Now seeing the movie poster, I remember the 1995 version, but I don't think I've seen the 1960s version.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's got a few good scenes in it. The children make Kirstie Alley operate on herself with a scalpel,
Yep.
and but yeah, I couldn't get over the fact that Mark Hamill in a movie other than Star Wars,
Yeah. other than
Kirstie
doing-
Alley somewhere other than Cheers, and Christopher Reeve without his cape. I mean, the three most typecast. Well, I don't know about Chris, but two of the most typecast actors in the history of cinema, all in one movie. It had to be deliberate. It really had to.
Wasn't that one of Christopher Reeve's last big hurrahs before the untimely demise?
I would argue with calling it a big hurrah.
Well,
But yes,
Yeah.
you're correct. But yes, you're correct about it being one of his last movies. Yes.
yeah, because not too shortly after that, he met his demise. So,
Yeah, which is kind of, and I always thought that was ironic to the nth degree, right? He plays Superman and becomes paralyzed.
Yeah.
and then children from a damn village kill him. It happened.
Well,
I don't think it was a story. I think they really killed him.
Now, that's possible.
Yeah.
Now, I've always given Lex Luthor the credit for paralyzing him outside the movies. But you think?
Could
Yeah.
be the evil children.
I think it was the evil children that maybe Damien was heading. Yeah, we all
No,
thought
no,
it was
no.
a movie.
Let's not combine our evil children here too closely.
No, 'cause
Why not?
Well,
It's fun.
Damien, we have the demonic son of Satan.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Village of the Damned. What the children of the damned were alien induced.
And that was made 10 years before Damien was born.
Well, so
So,
the remake.
Well, yeah, the remake was after Damien.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, Chuckles is right. Even Damien, at his best, didn't have that smirk on his face.
Oh, the little blue eyes and you just want to punt those little bastards halfway across the screen.
We have gotten. I haven't seen this intense emotion in Chuckles the Clown in a long time.
You know, I have no problems with kids. I deal with them all the time. But if any kids come at me looking like that,
Well, you only have a problem with these kids because you can't deal with these kids the way you deal with all the other kids.
yeah, I can't scare them.
You
No.
can't scare them. You can't hurt them. I mean, what
No.
else?
They're going to psychologically make me appear on some cable access show and rip my guts out, and it'll be something that no one watches. Like, you know,
When the remake came out, I was young enough, I would have been like, hey, I want to be your friend. I have blonde hair and blue eyes.
and I
Don't
would've-
kill me.
And I would have punted you in the head too.
No, but I'll tell you that. Yeah, I'll go along with that. They were the most hateful group of little tots ever. I think in real life too. Really, there's a few people that if I did see them, walking down the street in real life, I just punch them right in the face. One of them is, and I guess in a way it's a compliment to the actors involved, right? That they did such a good job
Yeah,
on
but
screen
you
of making me
despise them.
hate them. Yeah, despise them. That I really would. I would punch them right in the face. One of them is Meryl Streep. Now, this happened to me, and I'm digressing from evil children, but I was an evil children when I saw Meryl Streep in this movie, so we'll twist it around that way. Yeah, Meryl Streep was in a movie called Kramer versus Kramer, and this was back in like the late 70s, and I was the little tyke that Mom brought with me to the movies because she wanted to see the movie. Yeah. And I was brought along, and I sat there, and I watched this rotten... I don't know if anyone here saw this movie, but it's basically about a couple that gets a divorce and puts the kids through hell. And she's the one that leaves the family. And by the end of this movie, but she put that kid through. I just wanted to. Right now, I mean, the woman, she's old, she's elderly.
You still punch her.
She's a senior citizen, revered in the movie business. If you put me as close as we are, I would punch her right in the face. Now, they'd arrest me, but she would probably get up, dust herself off, and be very complimented.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
sure
like,
she would be.
My acting skills upset you so much as a child and convinced you.
Yes.
It's an amazing compliment.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, who else? There's...
I'd like to punch the whole cast of Twilight in the face, not because they upset me, but because that's
They just
god awful crap that I've ever seen.
Well, it's what they've done to the vampire genre.
Oh, freaking tore it apart.
Yeah,
and let's not forget, they ruined the werewolf stuff, too, with those stupid mutating things. Those aren't werewolves.
Yeah, that's not the same thing I'm talking about, though. You know what I'm talking? That's you just want to assault them. Because
I just want to assault them.
Right. Not because they upset you with their portrayal of a given thing.
Oh, no, they definitely upset me portraying those vampires twinkling and everything. I want to give them a twinkle black eye.
Of course, the only good thing about that twinkling is that there was an awesome South Park episode.
You know what
that
would be
was based on that Twilight twinkling.
You know what would be grand idea, and I just thought of this because I'm demonically evil.
Should we take notes?
Yes, you get the cast and crew together for a redo of the movie, sort of say, or portray it, and then you of the Tweenlight movies.
Okay.
And then you invite Brock Lesnar over. You make sure he's not on his medication and watch him single-handedly take every one of those freaking jackwagons through Suplex City.
Well, unless you just better make sure that Brock Lesnar is not a fan of Twilight.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't know.
You believe me, you don't. There's some strange things happen in this world.
I will pay him not to be. All right, I will pay him not
I'm
to
just saying, make sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make sure of your alliances.
Don't assume,
Right.
just in case.
I mean, the most disillusioned I was ever in my life was as a longtime Slayer fan. I don't know if I've told this story on the air before, But as a longtime Slayer fan, I was in Las Vegas. I was playing blackjack in one of the downtown casinos. And sitting next